This is the 123rd episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the second to last day of January 2013. This episode is titled IdeaExchange All-Stars. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing expert. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me for the all-star-ioting IdeaExchanging thing is Justin Nelson. Justin, how you doing?
I'm good. This is number 123.
It is 123.
Just realized that this won't happen again until episode number 1234.
That'd be great. So just as we normally do more of a structured news and whatever, but we thought we'd break it up a little bit. It has nothing to do with there being no news out there. It's everything to do with us just trying to try new formats and hear from our fans like what you like to hear. So this time we're going to do a podcast about our favorite IdeaExchange ideas. And we're actually going to pick ones that we have submitted. We're going to talk about them, and then we're going to make a CloudFocus App Picks of the Week. So why don't we get right into it, and as a special episode and get right into it, why don't you give me your first? We're going to pick 3 each. Maybe we'll go to 4 if we find we run out of time or whatever.
All right. So these are ones that we've submitted
to the
ourselves.
IdeaExchange.
So I'm giving ones that I've submitted, and you're going to give ones that you've submitted.
That's correct.
And we're going to skip over all the rest of the thousands of ideas that are out there that are all really very, very good. But
I mean, I put in 2 today that I thought were really good, or I voted on 2 today that I thought were really good. But
yep.
So I think actually let's give a little bit of background.
Let's do that because I spoke at Dreamforce this past one, DF12
hashtag DF12,
and I spoke about the inner workings of the IdeaExchange and how important it is for the community to participate in the IdeaExchange. And I actually talked about how at Arkus we keep a Google Sheet of all the ideas that we have either submitted or voted on, so that from time to time everyone else at Arkus can just go into that sheet and say, oh, look at all these ideas that I should vote on. We also use Chatter to communicate with one another and say, hey, I just submitted this idea or put it in a group or whatnot that you should go vote on it. So that's what we do here at Arkus. I think it's a good practice for even if you're a really large company and you're using Salesforce and you really need something, you can get some votes out there pretty quickly by doing something like this.
If you think you have we used to work at the company that should have been named where we had, let's say, thousands of active users, although we had much more licenses. We could have activated those licenses, gave them fake names of it. But at the thousands of active, you could get 100 to 200 people to get 10 votes each. I mean, you can really push the needle on these.
10 points.
10
one
points.
Vote, 10 points.
Sorry, 1 vote, 10 points. But you can push the needle on these ideas. I was actually with a client, I guess last month, and we were talking about it, and there was features that they were asking about, and I said, well, that's on the IdeaExchange. I explained it what it was. I went to it, and I said, listen, you guys have hundreds of users. Go ahead, click on them. Send out the mass email. So we kind of do that internally just as a way to, if we want to have something. I think we started as only ones that we put in, but now we put in both ones that we like, and basically the new ones are at the top, and you can go in and we just check off whether we voted on it, so I can, it takes me like 5 minutes to go in and vote on the last 5 that we put in. But so for today's purposes,
we're going to be pimping our own ideas and hoping that you all go out there and vote for them.
That's correct.
So I'll start. I'll give the full name, what it is, I'll say how many votes there are or how many points. I'll give the points, not the votes.
Yeah.
And how many comments there are. Some of these are kind of weak. There's only 3. One of them is fairly weak, but I think it's a great idea. But I'll start with the one in the middle.
Are you going with something? Are you going to use things that I'm going to do one that's been delivered?
No, I'm going to stick with ones that I need people to vote on.
Okay, I'm going to do ones delivered so
everybody
can thank me for it.
I have some delivered ones. I actually have a very good percentage, I was told, of ideas or delivered ideas to ideas submitted, but regardless of my win ratio, I will stick with things that I want people to go out and vote for. So I will start with something that is near and dear to my heart, permission sets. You'll see there's a little theme here. Org-wide email addresses in permission sets.
Nice.
So the idea here is that I want to associate an org-wide email address to one user or a few users via a permission set, regardless of their profile. So a lot of this stems around support. So I want to allow a few different users to respond from a support email address, but I don't want to let everybody in that profile use that email address.
Right now it's profile based.
Right now it's totally profile based.
So if you have a org-wide email, support@arkusinc.com, you can only restrict people who can use that by their profile.
Correct.
And so and really, since we're trying to move away from having many different profiles, if you have one profile, which we've set up orgs with one profile with many permission sets, then everybody in that profile, while they might have different jobs, would still be able to use this, which is no good.
Correct.
Okay.
I wrote in a little use case, and it also stemmed from I wanted partner portal users to be able to use the org-wide email address, and you can extend permission sets to partner portal users, but not all of them.
Nice.
Only some of them. So
that's a good one.
So this has 120 points, which is 12 votes, and it has 5 comments.
Nice.
So not really highly voted on, but it does have some comments from the product manager saying that it's not the first time he's heard the idea, and glad that the idea made it onto the IdeaExchange. Only 120 points, though. It's been 6 months. Come on, people. Let's go.
That we've all voted on it, that means not a lot of people outside of Arkus have voted
it's
on
got 12 votes, but basically
5 of them are from Arkus.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 are from Arkus. So org-wide email addresses in permission sets. Get out there and vote.
So I'm going to give you one, and the reason I'm giving this is something that's been delivered because it needs to happen in more than one place, and vendors, VARs, need to take notice of this one. So when I was first installed the Chatter app for mobile, the mobile Chatter app.
Ooh.
And when you first install...
Ooh.
Yes, you install a Chatter app. I went back into the org the next day, and I noticed this thing that said, Jason Atwood just installed Chatter for iPhone via m.salesforce.com from your mobile on your Chatter. And I was like, wait a second. I didn't post that. Like, how it just chattered that I did something, although I didn't know that it chattered. So I went and wrote
Jason Atwood just installed Salesforce for Outlook.
Right. So I went and put...
Again.
I put an idea on the IdeaExchange called Make Chatter Mobile Install Status Update Optional. Right? You don't have to delete them, but at the end of your install, if it says, do you want to chatter, you just did it, fine, give me the ability to do it. It's kind of like tweeting or whatever. It's like, do you want to tweet this out? When I buy things now on Amazon, it says, do you want to tweet that you just bought this? Sometimes I actually do. I'm like, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm
do
buying
that all
stuff.
the time.
So anyway, it got delivered in summer 12, and it had 1,030 points,
Nice.
17 comments, but the problem is not gone.
No.
Because I saw someone install... How do I know that they installed something? Because I saw it in their Chatter feed. External products sometimes do this, and Chatter, I don't think the Outlook thing does it anymore. I think they actually took it away from Outlook. So Salesforce learned from their own mistakes, but now I'm pleading to all of you vendors out there, or all you VARs or Salesforce AppExchange listings, whenever you build a product that installs, please, that installs at least as a personal, like you have to install the personal, please do not do this. This is actually, on the very small side, it's an annoyance. On the very big side, it's an invasion of privacy.
It's chatter spam.
It is chatter spam. And it's also like, what happens if you just, I brought up the example of, what happens if I'm an admin and I'm just installing something as a test case, and I don't want everybody to know that A, there is something out there they can install, or B, that they're ready to install it. I basically just told the world that I did it. And it's like, you can't...
You didn't tell the world. You told the Salesforce world.
Salesforce world is
Your
important.
own little
That's
world.
a world. So anyway, it got... So
that was something you submitted.
I submitted, and it got delivered.
There.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. All right, give me
I
another
have
one.
to go in there and look at some of my delivered ones just because you're doing all this braggy stuff. All right,
Brags.
So this one needs some real help, and I think it's a great idea. It's only got 40 points, which means not even everybody at Arkus has voted on this idea.
Which one is this one?
Which is kind of sad, including you. You need to vote on this.
What? I voted on everyone in our list.
Not this one, my friend. So this is called Back to Chatter tab, and then parentheses, just like back to list. So when just to give some background, when you're working in a list view and you click on a record, when you land on the record, you get that handy little link that says back to list, right? which is really handy. You're working on a list of opportunities.
50.
Oh, nice. Sweet. So this was submitted more than a year ago, by the way. So it's really handy. You go back to the list. You do the next thing on the next record. You go back to the list. Sometimes the record disappears from that list because you're doing something to it. Like people who I haven't logged an activity with in the last 7 days. Then you log the activity. You go back to the list. They're gone. Well, more and more recently, I've been doing the same thing from the Chatter tab. I've been clicking on records from the Chatter tab. And I then leave the Chatter tab and I leave the feed, but I can't get back to it.
You haven't learned how to command option.
Yeah, I know. Open new tab. Great. But, that's not exactly the point here. The point is to make my navigation very simple. I want to click on the record, land on the record, read more details about the record, then click a link and land me right back where I was in the Chatter tab in that place where I was.
Because you could have been halfway down.
I could have been halfway down. I could be all the way down. I could be somewhere in the middle. I could be in a filter. So, that's what I'm really talking about. Like it's a filtered Chatter like favorite or search, and I want to get back to it. It's really not very easy. So this only has 50 points, and I know people who've adopted Chatter and love the Chatter tab and use it in that way would love to have this kind of thing delivered, and it's not even marked as anything. It's just sitting there with 50 points. Only 4 votes, 5 votes now, no comments. Come on, people.
That's no good.
Come on, people. Get out there and vote.
Yeah, no good at all.
All right, what's your next one?
I'll go on the same one. Is that I have one. This is something that bugs me constantly. So this is like I want this to happen because this is really annoying. Same theory. So the back to list link.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, this
is good. This should be delivered. Seems simple.
This is maybe 6 seconds of coding. The back to list before Chatter arrived, the back to list, when you're on a list view and you click on something, it gives you the back to list. And then you click it and you go back to the list that you're on. You're just explaining the whole functionality. The link is at the top of the record on the page layout. And when they implemented Chatter, they had the choice. Someone in the UI team, not me, they didn't come and talk to me because I would have given them advice on this.
They should have talked to you.
They said, should we put this above the little Chatter feed or below it? So if we put it above the Chatter feed, it will always be persistent and I'll always know where it is. If we put it below the Chatter feed, when you expand the Chatter feed, it goes down to the bottom of the Chatter feed where you can't find it because Chatter feeds can be either very small or very large. So it's inconsistent. So they actually put it below. It's a pain, especially when you're actually trying to read Chatter on things. You basically have to go, expand Chatter, look at the Chatter, close Chatter, go back, and do this back and forth. Plus, it's not persistent. I think this might be another idea out there, but if I'm going to show Chatter on an object by object basis, leave it in the status that I gave it. So if I'm showing Chatter on reports, but if I'm not showing them on accounts, remember that.
Yeah, it doesn't. I actually hate when I jump to a report and I've had Chatter open and there's a year's worth of Chatter on a report.
Right.
And like we have a report that we chatter a lot on here at Arkus.
Booked hours.
And we chatter on it every week.
I'm opening the kimono, baby.
Just open it up. This is the Open the Kimono show. We open it wide open. But we chatter on it every week. And we have some comments sometimes and back and forth and whatever. There's years worth of chatter. Ever since Chatter on reports existed, there's chatter on there. And I'll jump and I'll be like, oh, man, now I got to close it. And I close it and I go back to record. It's closed. Right. I got to open it.
It should be object. I mean, it'd be great if it were record by record.
Oh,
I think that'd be impossible.
That'd be fantastic.
But think about what they do with sections. You can close sections section by section, object by object.
Yeah, but sometimes those don't work so well.
I find they work pretty well.
I find that they work okay unless there are sections that hold Visual Force pages.
Oh, well, that's another idea. Anyway, move back to list above Chatter feed on objects, posted by Jason Atwood, 160 points. And
Not a lot of points.
No.
We need points.
I actually looked at the voters, and I can see that I voted a couple times. Because I saw 1,
don't say that.
2, 3,
Stop
4.
It. No, stop. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, I can see there's a Jason Atwood, a Jay Atwood, and another former company that I used to be a part of. So so out of that 16, 5 are mine.
That's kind of funny.
Go vote on those.
All right. So
full kimono, baby.
Yeah, full kimono. All right. So now I'm going to go to my biggest idea in terms of
in your entire life.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Well, in a past life, I've had a bigger idea in a different profile. So if you looked, you could find a different profile of me that had has a lot more votes and still isn't delivered. But this is one that has a lot of action on it. It's called record type selection and permission sets. You see my theme. I love permission sets. And I've talked about it many times on the show.
That's a good T-shirt for Dreamforce.
The
Hashtag DF13. No. I love permission sets.
I heart permission sets. So record type selection and permission sets, and this has really morphed over the last year or so. It has 2,030 points.
Ooh, that's good.
It has 101 comments. So that's why it's morphed so much, because it initially just said, hey, I'd love to see record type selection and page layout assignments in permission sets. And it's sort of morphed into just record type selection, because doing both would be really, really hard, as explained.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are saying, if I have a one-to-one type model with record type to page layout, so if I could just control record type, I can control the page layout because it's one-to-one anyway.
Right.
My big use case for this is actually, I don't know if anyone else has ever mentioned this or even talked about it, but for me a big one is I want to control the default record type for a specific user.
By permission set?
By permission set. Because when you're doing, the primary case is lead conversion. So when you're doing a lead conversion, you're converting to whatever that user's profile's default record type is for accounts, contacts, and opportunities.
Yes.
But I might have 3 different record types of opportunities and 2 different record types of accounts, and I want to control on a user-by-user basis which account they're creating and which record type of opportunity they're creating, and not have to do that at a profile level.
Right.
That's my big thing with this, is I really want to control the default record type. And it's sort of morphed from default to which ones can they create, can it override what the profile says, and this, that, and the other. But it's a very heavily commented on idea. The product again, Adam Torman is out there. He last posted on this 1 day ago. I mean, this one gets a lot of action.
And doesn't even have a being considered or anything?
Is not marked as anything, although I know Adam's looking at it. Just because I've talked to him about it so many times, and he answers this thing constantly. When you submit an idea and then people comment on it, you get an email every time. So I get emails on this a lot. Because again, 101 comments and 2,030 points. It's been merged with other ideas, have merged into it.
Yep. So
go out there and vote record type selection in permission sets.
Pretty good one.
Yeah, it's been out there for over a year.
I love how yours are like big, core pieces of functionality. Mine are just little UI problems that I'm like.
I've got some other things, but we said we'd do 3 each. If we have time, we'll do another.
Yeah. Well, I have one more. Well, my last one is not. Yeah, I mean it's an important one. So I guess I wouldn't have taken the time to put any of these in if I didn't think they were important. But it is another one of these things that every time I'm training somebody on Salesforce, explaining Salesforce to someone, or looking at my own org, I go, why? Why did they do this? So when you log into Salesforce, it used to be, there's a concept behind when you sync things with Salesforce. You sync things from Outlook, or you send in emails using email to Salesforce, and they don't match up to a record. So there's no email, there's no person in there. They go into something called My Unresolved Items. Used to be only down on this underneath under My Tasks. And so actually my idea is about that. But it's gotten worse because there's now a new shortcut on the side that you can add into your org. And here's the problem. That thing shows up all the time, whether you have 0 unresolved items or none. And the worst part about it is the icon next to the My Unresolved Items is a big, like, warning symbol. It's like the symbol for warning. So when you log into the org, you see this thing that says, warning, My Unresolved Items. And you're like, oh, I got to go get that. Let's go. Oh, my goodness, worlds are colliding. So you click on it, and it's empty. There's nothing in there.
Nothing there, but it screams at you to click it.
Yeah. So my idea was Salesforce for Outlook, hide My Unresolved Items if no items to be resolved. It seems pretty simple. Like, there's so much going on that page. I feel like if things don't need my attention, get them out of my face. Don't give me links to things that don't need it. Now, the link to my calendar makes sense. My calendar's always there, and my calendar's always there. There's always something in it. But when you say My Unresolved Items, that actually is saying, UI development team at Salesforce, that there are unresolved, because you're saying My Unresolved Items. That is, if there's none there, there are actually no unresolved items. It's a 0 set. So it has 430 points on it. It has been
nice.
Yeah, it has been merged once. It has 4 comments because it's just so self-explanatory. It looks like I haven't voted on this more than once. No,
That's good.
No, I have voted on it twice.
Oh, man.
But anyway, go out there. Salesforce Outlook, hide My Unresolved Items if no items to be resolved. The other thing is we have our profile. So if you want to find our profile, I don't even know how you find our profile in the system. Can you search for our profile?
I don't know.
Anyway, if you
what
find
search allows you to do. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
User groups, answers.
I think you could probably search for like developers and find
Let's
us.
try it.
I bet you could. You could probably just put a name in there.
I'm trying.
Want to do another one?
Yep, it works.
There you go. You want to do another one?
Sure, one more.
One more.
I got the littlest, tiniest one that I'll throw in there.
I've got a good one.
It's like tiny, but it's like one of these little things.
I'm not going to give you the ones I've had delivered because the 2 that I had delivered, one had 60 points and one had 80 points.
Okay.
So it's just like this stuff needs to be fixed.
Right.
So they fixed it.
That's nice.
So this is one that I find would be very useful. It's called Allow Advanced Filters in Rollup Summary Fields.
Okay.
So in rollup summary fields, you can't use and or logic. It'd be great to have like advanced filters, just like creating a list view, right? So when you create a list view, you can do like 1 and 2 and 3 or 4 and 5.
Yes.
Something like that.
Do that all the time.
You're limited to 5 criteria in rollup summaries, and you can't do like advanced date things like a date equals last 30 days.
Okay.
You can't do that either. So all the things that you can do in a list view, or a report, I'd like to be able to do in a rollup summary field and make them more robust.
That's nice.
So allow advanced filters in rollup summary fields. 230 points, 2 comments. Been out there for more than a year. All these are old. They've been out there. I'm trying to bring them back to the forefront.
I'm going to throw 2 out there. I'll just say one really quickly. It's too easy. Post to chatter without showing chatter. No brainer. Don't make me have to show the entire chatter feed on an object, on a record, to be able to post to it. Let me just post to it, because I don't need to see it. I just want to add to it. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
Here's my one that I had forgotten about. I'm glad we did a 4th one, because this one drives me crazy.
See how awesome I am?
No, not very awesome.
I'm pretty
9
awesome.
months ago, 90 points, only 9 voters, of which I voted on it only once.
That's good.
All of Arkus has been on it, including Matthew Lamb. Thank you very much. Who's a big
not
part.
Arkus.
No, I'm not part of Arkus, but I'm saying he's a big Salesforce guy.
He was my co-speaker.
There you go.
The IdeaExchange speech.
So when you are creating a report and you're using the time frame.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
This is a good one. And you are typing in the time frame in a report. When you're building it in the wizard, you have all the normal things: current fiscal year, next fiscal year, yesterday, today, last week, this week, month. You have all those things in this list. But at the top, you have one that you can do that says all time. And what it does is it'll wipe out the dates.
Right.
You click run report, and you get your report, and you're like, you maybe set a different time. You're like, oh, let me get back to all time. And you click on, now you're on the report, not on the builder. And you click on the time frame and you click on the range and you go to the top and it's not there.
Nope.
Why is all time not there? So what you have to do is do custom, and then you have to go delete the two out.
Or you can just delete them out without hitting custom.
Right, well then it flips to custom. But you still have to put your mouse into two fields and delete them and then hit the run import as opposed to just going all time. So my idea is this is a very difficult idea. Add all time to time frame range.
Put it in there.
It's there. So 90 points. Love to see some more votes on that one. I actually tweet mine out whenever I put one in, so I'll put it in and then tweet it out. I should probably be better about going in and retweeting them. Or it doesn't have to be able to Facebook like them, but I'm not sure I want to throw it. Maybe I will just for the heck of it. Just see what happens. I'll throw it up on Facebook. People will be like, what the? Why are you putting idea exchanges on your Facebook? All right, well, let's get to that's our all-idea all-stars, all-star idea exchange all-stars. Let us know what you liked. Did you like this? Was it fun? Was it interesting? Did you learn something? Or
I liked it.
Or is this totally like a useless way of filling time when there's no news?
I liked it.
You tell us. But let's get on to the thing that we know you love, the CloudFocus app pick of the week.
All right, let's do it.
Go, Justin, go.
Everyone knows I have fallen in love with my iPad again, now that I have an iPad mini.
Yes.
I love my little mini.
Yes.
And everyone knows I love streaming television.
Everybody knows.
And everybody knows that I love trashy reality television.
You do.
So
this actually might be a good one.
This is a good one. You need this.
I need this.
You do need this.
So
A&E has put out the A&E app.
Nice.
For iPad. Like it is literally just an iPad app. It does not exist for the iPhone.
Okay.
So
doesn't mean anything to me.
It will soon. Okay. But for now, it's just for the iPad.
Yeah. No one watches video on their iPhone anymore.
No, because you have an iPad.
I have an iPad.
So it's the A&E iPad app. It's free. It's from A&E, and you can watch full episodes. Not full, like it doesn't have every season of every show, and it doesn't have even every episode within the season, but it has the most recent bunch. So like if you're into Storage Wars, if you're into Storage Wars Texas, Storage Wars New York, Duck Dynasty, if you're into any of these awesome A&E shows, this is the app for you, because you can just sit there, pop it on, it's free.
I know I'm going to ask you a question which you have not tested, which...
No, you're going to ask me a question that I have tested, so go ahead.
All right.
Ask.
Can you AirPlay it to Apple TV?
Oh, I didn't
test that. Fail.
No,
that's important.
That is important.
That takes this from cool app to super
I thought you were
going
to ask me if you have to like log into your cable provider, and the answer to that is no.
Well, that's even better.
No, that's the better answer.
There was one the other day that I went to look in.
There's HBO Go. You have to log into your cable provider, and they have to have a deal with HBO. Showtime has theirs, and
it only works like two cable providers.
There's 4 now.
Okay.
But I'm not on one of those 4. And there's advantages to using some of these apps. Like HBO Go, I really enjoy Girls. And I enjoy Girls as well.
This is not an explicit podcast, nor do we need to know your inclinations.
But now you can, on HBO Go, you can watch an episode ahead.
What?
Yeah.
You just what now?
Well, I've already seen episode 4 of Girls. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm not
You're
watching.
You're probably stuck on 3.
No, I'm not watching the season. I'll wait till it's over.
I'll have to watch it when it's on. But I've already seen the next episode of
I wonder if they're going to do that when like Game of Thrones comes out.
Why not?
Because
Showtime does it too with Californication.
You can watch it in advance.
1 episode ahead.
Does it come out?
Because I don't know about the Showtime app. I have Showtime On Demand.
Yeah.
Showtime On Demand on Mondays will allow you to watch 1 episode ahead of Californication, and then it disappears. So, like, the show airs on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on Monday,
they put the next week Sunday.
So
for one day.
I'm a week ahead. Like I don't watch it on Sunday. I just watch it on Monday.
Someone needs to cut down their TV watching. But
I'm already a week ahead.
Yeah.
So I watch my Showtime shows on Monday because Sunday's reserved for other things.
Not anymore.
Well, still like HBO and AMC when they come back with like The Walking Dead, and Mad Men's coming back in April, and Breaking Bad.
TiVo it all. All right, cool. Well, good app. I
So
like
A&E,
it.
yeah.
So free.
I love when these networks are putting out these apps.
The only thing I don't like it is it becomes so singular, because I honestly don't know, because I don't spend my time. My watching of TV is all TiVo or streaming, so I really don't know or care what channels they're on. So now it makes me have to pay attention to, obviously big things like, things that are on HBO, I pay for HBO, so I have to know what I'm getting for HBO. But the A&E History Learning Channel, and I know they even put the logo in the corner now, so you can't even, it's hard to even not know, but I'm not trying to know. I don't care.
It's hard to know the difference between, A&E and, Discovery and, Bravo and
but
Learning
with all
Channel.
these apps, like Discovery app, I've tried the Discovery app for the iPad. It stinks.
Really?
It's like clips.
No full episodes?
No.
You need full episodes. That's why A&E
ABC has a good one, but NBC doesn't.
Yeah, A&E has full episodes.
But NBC has Hulu, has all the stuff on Hulu.
Plus.
But then, I actually just rather have, I like the idea of Hulu better than these, because I want to just go on
Hulu
one
doesn't
place.
I like Netflix, even though it doesn't have the current stuff. At least on Netflix, you're not getting season 2, episode 12 through 14.
Right, you get
the whole thing.
Right, you get the whole thing.
And I need the whole thing.
Well, that is good. So
that's why HBO Go is so awesome.
Well, HBO Go is awesome.
HBO Go is the greatest.
You pay for it.
Well, I pay for HBO Go, and I happen to get HBO on my TV. That's how I think.
Right, but the way they're going to do, and I think this is the future of cable, is that this is the model that you've always wanted.
I want.
Let me pick the channels I want.
Give it to me.
And
give me Watch ESPN.
Yep. I want Watch ESPN. I want A&E on demand, and I want HBO, and that's it. And I want NBC.
Great.
Yeah.
And give me the pipe and make it thick.
Right. And give me 100 megabyte down so I can watch it all at the same time. We're getting there. But interesting that they did a free one that doesn't require cable
There's
access. Ads. Well, they all have ads. Even Hulu Plus, which is always crazy. I pay for Hulu Plus.
This is the Hulu Plus model of ads.
Right.
So the shows have ads
in them. But you have to test it whether you can push it to Apple TV.
I have not, because I don't really do that.
Right. Well, it just makes it, if I wanted to watch something bigger, I could just throw it up there and see if it worked. All right. My pick is, I could have picked this last week because I actually got it last week. But this is one of my most expensive picks out there. But this is...
I've benefited from this pick.
You have benefited from this pick. But this is something that I have done for, I think I've looked back since 2004. So almost 9 years now. 2004, I decided to go sort of paperless, and over the years, I've just gone more and more paperless, to the point where, actually, this year, when I went through my paper from last year to see what I actually collected, I had very little, because I almost don't take paper anymore. Everything's e-delivery, and everything is scanned. Well, when it comes to scanner decision, there's lots out there, but really it comes down to one. There's one maker and now one model, and that's it. This is the best scanner on the planet for scanning documents, and I'm going to tell you why. It's called it's Fujitsu SnapScan IX500. It just came out 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. I've owned the previous model. There was, I think, 3 in between.
Which I now own.
Which you now own. Which I had and loved for many, many years. Literally, maybe 6-7 years. It worked fine. And it still works fine. It just doesn't have all the new features. And a couple features I was looking for, and this one has it. So it's a multi-page, multi-duplex scanner. That means it scans, when you put in a page, it scans both sides at the same time. It also does auto detection of how big it is and whether it's color or not. If it sees its color, yes. And if it sees a different size, it doesn't scan the whole, it scans just what it needs to scan. And it can handle up to 50 sheets at a time. So
that's a lot of sheets.
You put in 50 sheets and you say go, and it's very, very fast. That's all sort of the stuff that every one of these scanners has done. What has this one brought on to the new game? It's faster. They have built-in processors now in it that sort of do stuff, including OCRing inside, which is nice. But here's the one thing that's now why there will be another one in the Arkus office within probably a week or two. It has wireless built-in. Okay, that's kind of cool. So I guess I could connect it up to the network, and I guess I could scan from my computers. Would that what I would do? Yes, but you can also scan from your devices. So you can go up to the scanner, open up your iPad, put something in the scanner, and then on your iPad, hit the scan button, and it scans right to your iPad, which you then can do whatever you want. Drag it, throw it into an email, throw it into Dropbox, whatever you want. So it kind of creates like a scan station for people who want to scan in one or two things in the office, don't even need to want to have their computer around them, like maybe my computer's in the other room. So it is, I've tried it out. I've tried it on multiple devices, iPad, iPhone. It's very, very good. It's very fast. If you're into scanning, this is great for homes because, again, you might have 3 or 4 people in your home and they all want to scan stuff, but you don't want to plug it into their computer with the software or whatever. All they need is the free iPad app on their thing. You have to connect up once to kind of say you can use your password, and then boom, it's on the network, and it can be, you can just hit it and scan right to it. This is the stuff that you used to have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do. Like if you think about, network scanners, I used to do this for a project. They were $2,000 each. So this is very, very cool. It's a great app.
Did you give the cost of this yet?
It is just under $500. It's like $450. It comes with a bunch of software that kind of takes a little bit of the sting out of it because it comes with some stuff that is like $200 worth of software. It comes with Adobe Acrobat, whatever. But now we use PDF Pen,
right,
and thing. It comes with an OCR, another OCR thing that does some really good OCRing. Again, OCR, the world of optical character recognition, used to be very difficult, and it used to be slow. It is now wicked fast and really good.
Now Evernote exists.
Well, and Evernote will do it for you, right? But now this will do it into the document, so it's in the PDF, and you don't have to worry about it. The problem with Evernote, and we can talk about this, but the problem with Evernote is a very good capture, really bad to get crap out. In fact, almost impossible to get crap out. And when you're dealing with stuff that you want to kind of last for the next 10 years, you're probably not going to want it in Evernote. Like if you want a PDF you can open up in 10 years. You can open up a PDF from 10 years ago. Evernote didn't exist 10 years ago, probably not going to exist in 10 years. You want to be able to get your stuff out and have it in a format that is just, that it can never be stopped. All right, I want to do one other plug because this came about because I started getting into like a new paperless thing for 2013. I was like going to re-up. And
what's this plug?
I'm plugging a book.
You're plugging a book?
Yep.
Did they pay for this?
Nope. Yes, it did. Nope. Called, if you want to get into paperless scan or paperless world or whatever in your home or in your office, whatever.
Go on.
A great book.
Yeah.
By I gotta figure out his name.
No, you can't do the plug without the actual plug in front of you.
Well, the name of the
you need the card.
No, I got it. The name it's by a guy who does a lot of screencasts. He's actually a lawyer in real thing, but he wrote this book called Paperless by David Sparks. Search for it on the iBook store. Download it to your iDevice.
Is it free?
It is not free. It's $10, $9.99. And here's why it's great. Not only does it have all the chapters and stuff about naming conventions and where to store things and all the things, it has about 120 minutes worth of screen captures in the book, so you can learn as he does it. He'll show you how to do it.
I have a big question for you.
Yes.
Does Paperless exist
in
as a paper
format?
book?
I don't think it does.
It better not.
I think it exists as a PDF, and you can get the PDF, but it's not. Yeah.
It better not exist as a real book.
So what I like about this guy is he doesn't just say one thing is good. He says a lot of things are good, but he also comes in and he shows these great video casts. So I was actually reading this book in the morning and then like playing the cast and then reading some more. It is very good. Paperless by David Sparks, great. The SnapScan IX500, it's the IX500, it's the new one. Under $500 on Amazon Prime, like $450 something. Great app or great device. Buy it, love it. Love to hear how you use it. All right, that's it for CloudFocus Weekly. Hit us up on Twitter at Arkus Inc. or Jason M. Atwood or Just Edelstein. Hit us up on the Facebook. Hit us up on the Google+. Hit us up in the Dreamforce portal. Subscribe to the podcast inside of iTunes or with your favorite iTunes or podcast reader. We love all that. Leave us reviews. Send us emails. Otherwise, share the love. We'll be back in another week with another episode of CloudFocus Weekly. And until then, enjoy those cloudy days.